Are you sure you won't even try some of the juice? Oh, hi.
Hi. Good morning.
Hi.
Feel up to talking for a minute?
Sure, what's up?
Nancy, after all the trouble with Mother's house, I've just learned that half of it wasn't hers to give away. It belonged to you all along.
What?
Daddy willed you his half a long time ago.
So you mean legally it's half mine?
That's exactly what I mean.
No, Terry, you keep it. I mean, after everything I've put you through, you deserve it.
No, but Nancy...
No, please, keep it. I can't accept it. Not after all I've done.
Nancy, I know a house can't be everything, but it is something. An investment, and at least half of this house is yours.
Well, maybe it's mine on paper, but really it is yours.
Well, Daddy lived there too, don't forget, and so did you.
I haven't forgotten.
Nancy, even if your memories aren't pleasant ones, they're in the past, they're over and done with. Right now we're talking about a piece of property.
Terry, I know it means more than that to you.
Well, yes, it does. I don't deny that. But now I'm willing to sell it, and we've got an ideal prospective buyer.
Already?
Well, honestly, I hadn't thought of selling it until Gene Redlin offered to buy it. He and Carla like it so much, and I can't think of a nicer couple, can you?
No. But I want it to be yours, to be free to do with whatever you want, Terry.
Nancy, I want you to accept your share.
No, I couldn't, Terry. It wouldn't be right.
Well, sleep on it, and we'll discuss it later. Oh, Mr. Carpenter. Excuse me.
Morning. What's she doing in here?
Charles, I just can't take all the pressure.
Pressure? What pressure?
Terry confessed, finally, that half of Mother's house is legally mine. And now she's pressuring me into selling it.
To her?
No, to those Redland people. I can't bear the thought.
I don't expect you to. That's my responsibility. Your responsibility, young lady, is just to get well.
Well, I'm trying, Charles.
Now, don't you worry. I'll protect your interests.
Thank you so much, Charles.
You know, I still can't get over how pretty you look in your civvies.
Well, thanks, Alex. That's very kind of you. Has there been any word on Nancy's condition? Any change?
Why don't I buy you a cup of coffee, and then we can talk about it in the cafeteria?
I don't think so, Alex, but thank you.
Nancy's condition. Well, in 25 words or less, we still haven't been able to determine the cause. So I've sent for a specialist, Stan Lieberman.
When will he be able to see her?
Well, I think he's in surgery right now over at Crestview General, but I believe he's got Nancy scheduled for an examination and some x-rays this afternoon. I tell you what, why don't you have lunch with me, and then I'll tell you all the things that Nancy's problem isn't.
Excuse me?
Lunch. I'll tell you all the causes we've eliminated.
Well, yes, Alex, thank you. I'd love to have lunch with you. Hello, Jason. You remember Alex?
Sure, of course. Nice to see you again, Alex.
Yeah. Hi.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to bring Terry back these revived sketches of the nurses' classrooms. You have time to look at them?
Actually, I don't. Why don't you just leave them on my desk, and I'll get to them later today.
Oh, yeah, well, I can do that, I guess. Well, nice to see you again, Alex. Have a nice day. Bye to both of you.
Goodbye.
So, why don't I stop by your office about noon?
Yeah, okay, that'll be fine.
Okay. See you then.
Left cross over, stretch and touch. Right cross over, stretch and touch. Very good. Ladies, always begin with your stretching exercises. They'll help marvelously to reduce soreness. You see, animals know this instinctively, don't they? What's the first thing your cat does when he wakes from his nap?
I don't have a cat.
That's right. He stretches.
Stretches.
doesn't he?
Okay.
So let's stretch like Tally to the left, touch and right, touch and left arms high and...
Hi. You just saved me from Sally Sawyer's slenderizing and stretching sequence.
Lori, I can't even say it, much less do it.
Listen, if she can have 7 kids and look like that, it's worth a try.
Well, are you over being depressed about the Monroe School?
I feel better, but I'm still glad you came over. I guess I'm afraid of the odds.
What do you mean?
Well, I've come out okay so far, but who knows what'll happen the next time.
Okay, Lori, I understand that, but don't you think the Lord is just a little above the odds?
Yes, but... Oh, you're right. So, how's it going with you? I saw you dash by at the hospital yesterday. Didn't you have a date or something with Russ?
Well, it wasn't a date, really. We just went to the art show. We even took separate cars. I think Russ is lonely.
Yeah. Do you ever get the feeling that maybe he wants to depend on you too much?
Well, no, I enjoy his company. I don't sense that he's depending on me. I think he needs people now, and I'm a people.
Marianne, I hope you're not getting involved with him.
Well, why? Is there something I should know?
Well, I did go with him for 2 years.
Yeah, but Lori, he's different now than he was then.
Yes, but you don't understand.
Lori, he's matured. He's been married and he's...
And that fell apart.
Well, you can't hold that against him. Lori, his wife left him.
I know, but he still doesn't know who he is or what he wants.
Well, he's getting there. I can tell.
They're just words, Marianne. Believe me. I'm not saying that he deliberately lies, but it's like, I don't know, he just wants to get along, so he kind of goes along. Does that make sense?
What are you trying to do? Are you telling me not to see him anymore?
No, I'm just saying you should watch where you're going.
Well, I am, but I don't see all this gloom and doom you're talking about.
Russ isn't faithful.
Why, because he married Becky, not you?
No, he wasn't faithful to Becky either. He took up with some Kingsley freshman when Becky went to New York.
Well, can you blame him?
Marianne, he's even tried to come on to me. Doesn't that tell you something?
Well, I don't know, Lori. Did you encourage it?
Of course not!
Lori, I see Russ as a guy who's trying hard to make a comeback. And it sounds like to me you have some kind of heavy-duty axe to grind. Well, excuse me, I gotta run.
Hey, what do you say? Talk about great timing. I was just calling you to see if you want to step out for a bite to eat.
How thoughtful.
What do you say?
No.
What?
You men really are all alike. You expect smooth sailing come rain or shine.
I must have missed something. What are you talking
Go
about?
ahead. Play innocent. I love the theater.
I don't know what you're talking about, Frosty.
I'm talking about your little cruise on the Love Boat yesterday.
Love boat? What love boat?
Look, Jason, if you want to play the field, by all means, go for it. But don't expect me to sit back and play the fool.
Could you be a little bit more specific?
I know you went sailing yesterday.
Sailing?
And I know you took that little blonde goody-two-shoes with you. Is that specific enough?
Well, it's certainly specific enough, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Terry Davidson. If you wanted to keep it a secret, you should have warned Gil. Fortunately, he told me where I could find you.
Gil must have pulled that out of the air. I was nowheres near water yesterday. Why, I was dying of thirst on some job site out in Milford.
With Terry Davidson?
No, not with Terry. I was nowheres near her. Did Gil tell you that?
Yes, I'm not that hard of hearing.
Well, this calls for a little father and son chat. He better be there. I don't know how all this got started. It must be Gil's idea, some practical joke.
It was very practical. Very effective indeed.
Look, I'm sorry about all of this. Would you allow me to apologize for my son?
No. I'm the one to blame. Will you accept my apology?
Of course. Ben, wait. Ben, don't leave with the wrong impression.
Oh, I think I understand, Jason.
Excuse me. Ben, wait a minute, will you? Ben, I know what it must look like from your point of view, but it wasn't that at all. Please give me a chance to explain.
Jason, you don't owe me any explanations.
But I want to explain. I mean, believe me, Ben, this has never happened before. No one has ever walked into the office. I'm never in the office. Look, Sharon is an excellent lawyer, and she's strictly professional in every sense of the word. We were merely having a minor argument when you came in, and we were making up, but there's nothing between us.
Oh, I could see that. Not even a sliver of daylight from where I was standing.
Seriously, Ben, how can I put this?
Jason, really, you don't have to.
Look, Ben, I want you to know the facts. Now, Sharon has been my corporate attorney for a number of years now. After my wife died 4 years ago, why, she became a very much needed friend to me.
Like now?
Just exactly like now. It's like I was explaining. You know, our lives paralleling and everything and being interested in the same business ventures and so on and so forth. It just naturally happened. It wasn't anything that I planned.
Well, my only concern is for Terry. I don't want to see her caught in the middle of this.
Absolutely. I wouldn't do that to Terry. I think too much of her feelings.
So do I, Jason. I won't see her hurt.
The judge shouldn't be much longer.
I'm so scared.
That's not necessarily bad, Miriam. True incompetence often doesn't know enough to be scared.
Now the Lord is with you, honey, and is not gonna let you fall.
And I wouldn't have exposed you to this if I thought you were incompetent. Stand.
Good afternoon, Counselor.
Your Honor, this is Miriam Mason and her landlady and friend, Mrs. Redlin.
Counselor, will you and Mrs. Redland have a seat? I want to speak with the defendant. Mrs. Mason, would you step forward, please?
You just trust in the Lord.
What is your full name, please?
Miriam Carpenter Mason.
Carpenter is your maiden name?
Yes, Your Honor.
And your husband?
I'm divorced.
Do you have any children?
Yes, I have a son named Frederick, but he's with his father now.
His father has legal custody?
Yes, ma'am, but Frederick is able to visit me.
How often does he visit you?
Well, he doesn't, Your Honor, because he lives in London. That's England.
Yes, I've heard of it. Have you ever been gainfully employed, Mrs. Mason?
Yes, I worked as a receptionist for my father.
You worked? What happened?
Well, at the time, I was very confused, and I was taking drugs, so my father fired me.
Yes, I see that you have a drug history. Are you dependent on any drugs now?
No, not at all. I don't want drugs anymore. I don't need them or anything.
I'm glad you've realized that. Now, do you have any training that would have prepared you for gainful employment?
Yes, I have a bachelor's degree.
In business?
No, it's in liberal arts.
And have you been able to apply your education?
Well, yes, I think that my education has enabled me to discuss a number of things intelligently.
But you have no marketable skills.
Well, no, Your Honor. I think, though, that the most important thing about my college degree is just the fact that I set a goal and I achieved that.
And have you set any goals for yourself since then, Mrs. Mason?
Yes, Your Honor, I have. I'm sorry. I'm taking a number of steps at trying to be independent, and that's why I'm even here right now. I know I've wasted a lot of time, but I really want very much to contribute to society, and Mrs. Ryland is really helping me. She is. I moved in with her recently, and already I have served food at the Senior Citizen Center downtown, and why, that doesn't sound like very much to you, but
it's a very good start. I rule that the defendant, Miriam Carpenter Mason, is indeed competent.
Praise God.
And I wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you.
Her papers.
Is that it?
That's it? Come on, you two. We've got some celebrating to do.
Okay.
Suddenly, Ron jumped up and shouted, "I don't need this. I don't need any of you." Bebop yelled through the
Transom. That's the vent over the door.
transom. Through the transom. Then let's get out of here. Ron ran to the door and pushed it open. Bebop grabbed his arm, and together they rushed to the fire
You know that one.
fire exit.
Yeah, let's stop there till next time, Leon.
I wanted to see how it turns out.
Good, then keep it if you like. But don't get started on section 2 till we have a chance to go over the diphthongs.
The what?
Diphthongs. Now there's a word for you.
Now let me guess. Diphthongs are little sandals you go wading in.
You know, Leon, you're doing so well. You won't be needing my help for too much longer.
Oh, you're just saying that.
No, I mean it. You've made great progress in a short amount of time. And from a purely selfish standpoint, it's a pleasure to work with someone who won't throw the textbook at me.
Is that what they do at Monroe?
Not yet.
How many people do you have in your class?
8, 6, 4, it depends on the night. They all hate me.
Oh, no, they don't. They're probably just giving you a hard time the way we used to do substitutes when I was coming along. They're thinking that you'll ease up and forget the lesson. Of course, the tactics have changed.
I don't know, Leon. These guys can be downright dangerous. Some of them have criminal records.
Well, have they tried anything yet?
Well, this one guy called Monk challenged me. He wouldn't sit down so we could hold class. So I threatened. He backed down. Thank the Lord.
Was he the only one standing up?
But the other guys were watching, I guess to see what he'd do or what I'd do. And they were definitely on his side.
Wolfing.
What?
Wolfing. It's like you have a little wolf pack in your class.
That's exactly what it felt like.
Yeah, I know, and they're all gonna follow the leader. But you've got to be the leader in that classroom, so you did just the right thing.
I did?
Yeah, you did. And if that dude keeps challenging you, don't give in to him or they'll all follow him. You see, you have to put a muzzle on him, stand your ground, and the whole group will follow you. They want a leader.
Terry Davidson, fresh from the battlegrounds. How's it going?
Fine. How are you, Russ? Lester keeping you busy?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't seen much of Lester. He just sort of briefed me on some of the problems and said, go tackle them.
Hey, that's quite a vote of confidence. I hope you're enjoying the job.
I am, and I want to thank you for the referral.
Oh, listen, it was my pleasure, Russ. And please, if you should feel uncertain about anything, Lester isn't here. Feel free to ask. I'd be glad to help.
No. Nothing has seemed too complex so far. The secretary's pretty sharp. At least she knows where all the paper clips are.
Good.
The reason I called you in here is because we're reviewing all the departments for cost effectiveness. Apparently, this hasn't been done on an overall basis in about 2 years. But I guess it's easy to slide when the taxpayer's footing the bill. Something wrong?
I'm just surprised, Russ. I wasn't aware of any gross inefficiencies.
Oh, gross, no. Cumulative, yes.
I hope the nursing department isn't seen as slack.
No. The nursing department is pretty good, relatively speaking, but obviously we know that all departments can't be perfect.
Granted. What problems have you pinpointed?
Well, to start with, the nurses, it seems, here at Kingsley have it a bit cushier here than at most of the other publicly funded hospitals in the state, especially when it comes to the 45-minute lunch break. We want to cut it down to 30.
30 minutes is the legal minimum.
Exactly. See, you're aware of the problem, too.
No, I'm sorry, but I haven't considered it a problem. They need a decent rest. Besides, the sense of fairness they feel and the good morale more than makes up for any time lost. In fact, I don't consider it lost time at all.
I respect your opinion. But those government guidelines were not arrived at arbitrarily. 30 minutes is the law, so 30 minutes it is. Effective Monday.
This is totally out of line. When will Lester be back?
Monday, but he's already given the go-ahead.
I'm going to speak to him, thank you.
One more thing. We need to discuss all this hanky-panky going on between the doctors and the nurses. I think it was you that brought it up to Dr. Greeley, wasn't it?
Did Alex come to you?
No. I heard it through the hospital grapevine, but I do intend on doing something about it.
The chief of physicians handles all such matters. The usual procedure is he calls them in and he gives them a stern fatherly talk.
Well, that hasn't seemed to work too good so far, has it?
Russ, this hospital has a delicate ecology, and your recommendations are a direct threat to it.
I only aim at the pollution.
Well, if that's all.
That's all.
How did it go?
Oh, she was a good patient.
It's not hard when you're paralyzed.
Well, what's wrong with her back?
Dr. Lieberman will be here in just a minute. He'll explain the x-rays.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Carpenter,
Yes.
these are good pictures, but they don't tell me a thing. I want to go in and have a look.
You mean surgery?
Exploratory.
On her spinal column? What, isn't that an undue risk?
Do you want a diagnosis? The other option is to wait and do nothing.
I don't know what to do.
Why don't we ask the patient? It's her life we're talking about.